in a national newspaper claimed both had died while fighting with the terrorist organisation. The Foreign Office says it is aware of the reports but can't confirm them at this stage. Peter Marshall reports.
Khalif Sharif, who's 21, and his 18-year-old brother Abdul Rahman are reported to have gone to Syria in November 2014. Today's Sun newspaper says Abdul Rahman, who left the University of Central Lancashire in autumn 2014, shortly after enrolling there, has been killed. It says the family are now worried that his older brother Khalif, briefly a law student at Lancaster University, has also died. At the family home in Trafford today, no answer. At the local mosque in Trafford, no one was willing to comment about today's newspaper reports concerning the two men. The Foreign Office says it's aware of the report about the death of two British men in Syria, but because of the nature of the conflict out there, it can't confirm those reports. It also says it's not been in contact with the family. If confirmed, the brothers would add to a list of around 55 Britons thought to have died after travelling to Syria and Iraq. Security officials estimate in total around 800 Britons have travelled out to the region to fight with or support ISIS. Among them, 20-year-old Khalil Raoufi from Manchester, killed after travelling to Syria in autumn 2013. Mohammed Javid from the Manchester area is also believed to be dead.
First of all, we need to alert parents about checking the internet access that their children are having. Many of these young people have computers in their rooms. Do parents know what is actually being searched on the internet and what sort of activity they're involved in? And secondly, I think it's really important that people, that are parents, talk to the young people and have that dialogue and let them understand that if you want to help the people in Syria, give money, raise the issue, and do campaigns like that. But there's no benefit to the Syrian people by going out and joining a barbaric organisation.
The government says its prevent strategy tackles extremism by giving practical help to people at risk of radicalisation. It uses schools, mosques, online experts and charities to guide young people away from fundamentalism. Peter Marshall, BBC North West Tonight.
Well, joining us now is Evan Lawrence, a terrorism expert from the University of Central Lancashire. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. This is obviously a distressing individual case for one family, but why do you think young men like these, brought up in this country, continue to go out to fight for so-called Islamic State?
Well, I think we're missing part of the counterterrorism strategy in the West and certainly in this country, where we have a very good security services and police response, but we don't have the community response that helps deal with the societal issues as to why these people are radicalizing and wanting to join ISIS in the first place.
But the government would say it has invested millions in its prevent strategy. Would you say that is working?
I think prevent has worked in certain circumstances, but certainly has not been effective overall. And I think we need to definitely look at and closely scrutinize the cases that have worked and figure out why those worked and the ones that didn't, and figure out what we can do from those.
Well, where would you say it is going wrong?
Well, I think we need to have in place that kind of second piece of the puzzle that I talked about, where we're dealing with why they radicalize in the first place. It's much easier and much cheaper to deal with them on that kind of level. By the time they get to the police, it's really too late. So we need to start working with the mosques, with social services, with community groups, with all kinds of different people, and making sure that we have those foundations in place that deal with radicalization across the board.
The government estimates, or official estimates, suggest about 800 British men and women have gone to Syria to fight for jihadist groups. Do you think that's a reasonable figure? And what do you think should happen to them if they should return to the UK?
Well, I certainly think that number is appropriate, and certainly the government wouldn't have released that without that being what their belief is. I don't see that being wildly out of line. I think that with returning fighters, I think we have a big problem there, because at the moment we tend not to allow them to come back. But I think allowing them back into the country and making sure that they're put through these kind of social service programs that I've been talking about is a much better option, because then we know where they are and what they're doing. If we don't allow them back in, we're confining them to stay in ISIS, which is only going to make the situation worse.
Okay, Evan Lawrence, thank you very much indeed.
today.